All right. Uh, Professor Privatera, thanks for joining us. Andrew Dunsar here, team lead for Group 3. Thanks for joining us. I'd like to go around the room, introduce everyone on my team, and then if you would, give us a brief introduction of yourself, and then we'll get hopping into the rest of the presentation. Does that sound okay? Awesome, great. Yeah, so Andrew Dunsar, as you heard, I'm an IT major here with a background in information security or information assurance. I'm a current solution engineer for a cybersecurity company known as Key Factor, and that's me. Siobhan, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Ross. I'm Siobhan Callwood. I'm also an IT major here at Kennesaw State with an information assurance concentration. One of my main roles on this project has been as a technical writer. With that, I'll pass it on to my teammate, Hayden.
Hi, Professor. I'm Hayden Graham. I'm one of our technical analysts for this project. I'm a senior here at KSU. I IT major with a sub-focus in cybersecurity. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to George. George might be muted.
Yeah, George, you're on mute.
Hey, Professor. George, as they said, I'm the technical analyst for the group. Currently, right now, I'm an associate engagement manager at AT&T and specialize in co-location and SaaS. I'm going to pass it on.
Thank you, George. Good evening, Professor. I'm Daniel Powder. I'm also a technical writer here on Group 3. I'm an IT major, and I'm in my last semester here at KSU.
Awesome. And then Professor Privatera, I don't know if you want to give us a brief introduction for yourself. If not, we can move on. Totally, either way.
Sure. I'm Don Privatera. I am professor of Capstone 4983, and I've been with KSU for a year and a half as a full-time instructor. Prior to that, I've got about 30 years in various different software development, IT management, and security systems management in a career where I owned a business. So variety of different jobs and different skills, and I can really appreciate, everything that you all are doing, and I'm excited about seeing what you got to show me today.
Awesome. Thanks for that. All right. Moving on.
All right, so here we have our project summary. This outlines our Milestone 1 deliverables. We have the information security policy, the risk assessment, technical plan, Gantt chart, and showcase build, all showing as completed.
And from here, I'm going to take over. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to pass it over to the very capable hands of Hayden Graham.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm going to take the stand from here and talk about a little bit about what our project is about, our project overview. And our main objectives for this assignment was to take our e-commerce site that was provided by the school and then review the site for all potential vulnerabilities or threats, and then perform a complete risk assessment on that site, detailing all the vulnerabilities that we found while scanning. We need to harden the website by going in, fixing those vulnerabilities, getting the website as secure as possible. And then from there, we're just going to continue to monitor the website throughout the rest of the semester for any possible intrusions or attempted intrusions and anything else we might be on the lookout for. And then lastly, we're working on our showcase website, which is going to be, we're hosting that on Wix, and it pretty much compiles all the work that we have done so far and will be doing throughout the semester. We try to keep that updated pretty much as we go. And then from here, I'm going to talk about our project updates. Like this slide is pretty much just to show what each team member's primary role was in the group and has a little bit about our contact info. And then from here, I'll talk about pretty much a week-by-week breakdown of what our group has been up to. And it started with the first week, which was really like the kind of a pre-week where we needed to assemble our project plan and also just kind of get to know each other as group members. And really, we mainly developed our communication policies, our collaboration plan, and our risk management plan. And then in our communication policies, we decided we're going to meet 2 to 4 times a week, sometimes even more than that, like this past week. We're going to communicate primarily through Teams for file sharing and for our meetings so we can record them in case any group member isn't able to make it. And then we do our daily communication on GroupMe for convenience so we can all stay plugged in anywhere we are. And that pretty much concludes the communication policies, but as for risk management and our collaboration plan, that was kind of go hand in hand of how we would keep each other honest and make sure everyone is on time each week with their deliverables and is giving clear communication. And those policies just pretty much outline what we would do in a worst case scenario if someone fails to meet those standards. But so far, we haven't had to deal with that. So from there, I'll move right into week one. The main thing we had to focus on this week was fine tuning our project plan. We got some feedback right at the beginning. We kind of got off to a rough start with our initial project plan submitted, but we got it fine-tuned during this week, along with the creation of our showcase website, which was kind of in a rough state at first as well, but we got it up, and those were the main two things we focused on, was finalizing the project plan and updating the website. From there, I'll move into weeks 2 and 3. In week 2, our biggest focus was scanning for vulnerabilities. We knew we had our milestone report coming up in the following week. So that's what we kind of divided our group in half, with half of the team working on vulnerabilities and the other half working on updating our showcase website and working on all our documentation. And then besides that, we used our meetings to divide up the deliverables for our several things that came in the next week, which would be week 3. The main deliverables this week were our Milestone 1 report, this presentation that we're giving right now, as well as our finalized showcase website, including all updated info throughout report 1. Next, I'm going to talk about a little bit about our challenges that we anticipated and how we overcame them. And the main thing that we expected to happen would be delayed or broken communication because of busy schedules. Everyone in this team has a full-time job outside of school. We're all full-time students, and we're all online or commuting students as well. So it would be a lot harder for us to meet in person. But despite these challenges, thanks to our communication policies and making sure we have daily communication, we have really overcame these and not run into any of the problems that we anticipated so far. I'm proud to say. And then from here, I'm going to hand it back over to Daniel. He's going to tell you a little bit about our information security policy.
Thank you, Hayden. So here we have the purpose of our information security policy. The main objective of this policy is to secure all information systems owned and operated by Akwaaba. This just ensures that all of our networks meet our security and data expectations. The scope of this policy is applicable to all employees. This includes full and part-time, temporary, contract, and consultants. This just details what falls under the policy, such as computers, data repositories, users, and applications. So the first policy we have here is our user access. User access allows the IT admins to create and manage users to assign permissions based on their attributes. Unique login credentials will be given to each user. The sharing of credentials is prohibited. Passwords must be changed every 180 days, and inactive users will be removed from the server after 30 days. Alongside that, we have our BYOD policy, or bring your own device, and this is only applicable to managerial and corporate staff. They'll be granted access to the internal network with personal devices. This will allow them to check their emails and access other corporate data. However, they must be current with the operating system, antivirus, and firewall protection. Jailbroken and rooted devices are prohibited due to the risk that they pose. And finally, lost, stolen, and deactivated devices have to be reported immediately. Finally, we have our RBAC policy, or role-based access control. Role-based access control restricts access based on a person's role within the organization. The roles will provide access to the kitchen, point of sale systems, and maintenance rooms. The system will grant employees access via fingerprint scan. Akwaaba managers will be able to review attendance logs, surveillance cameras, and payroll records. And corporate staff will have access to financial reports with the ability to assign roles within the Akwaaba network. So corporate staff includes our human resources teams, the accountants, as well as the IT admins. And at this point, I'm going to pass it over to Ross, who's going to tell you about our risk assessment.
Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. So coming into the risk assessment, we'll cover the server evaluation, the assets to protect, both people and digital, and then the potential known threats and vulnerabilities, which will include the probability of the attacks on each asset and the damage if they should occur. So going into the server evaluation first, there's an Apache web server with the version 2.4, the MariaDB version 10.6, and the Red Hat OS or RHEL 8.4. They're configured in different folders. They are only safeguarded with admin username and passwords or credentials at this time, and it's a pretty typical configuration for a small business e-commerce platform. So the assets to protect digital, we've got customer data, payment information, financial records, and employee data. And from a physical perspective, we need to protect our employees and our customers. Going into the next slide, we've got a chart here that lays out all of these different aspects. Excuse me one second. Trying to zoom in, but that's okay. So for the Red Hat, we can see that there is oh, I can't zoom in on that. I apologize. That's my fault. So the from highest to lowest on this chart, you'll see that they're per asset, and
I
then
can
going
see
down
it.
from there. Okay, good. So there's the Red Hat operating system 8.4, and then the biggest one is going to be the unexpected vulnerabilities from existing not patches not being up to date. So we need to keep those patched. Then next is going to be weak passwords and authentication controls, which is currently all that's being. There's only admin passwords that needs to be updated, right? Then there's network-based attacks, remote code execution attacks. These are a medium risk, but they still need to be monitored. Going down to MariaDB, we have SQL injection. This is the highest risk, so we need to make sure that we have proper RBAC and credentialing as well. So there's not actual allowed access to actually put other SQL commands through there through other like access systems. We also have authentication bypass vulnerability, privilege escalation vulnerability as well. Those are more on the low side, but then the buffer overflow with medium, we'll take care of those as well. Lastly, the Apache web server, there's remote code execution vulnerability. That's at a high risk and denial of service. I think if we can load balance it or maybe have a backup server for high availability, we can get those out of the way pretty quickly. And then the medium, the directory transversal attacks and cross-site scripting, things we'll monitor and take care of as well. All right. And I'll pass it off to George for our technical plan.
Hey, so to start it off, for Apache and are all components of the organization's infrastructure. They're all popular open source web servers and on the market, which is Apache, and it is a hosting platform for websites and web applications widely used and managed data. MariaDB is a relational database management system that is also open source. Many businesses prefer the dependable and secure Red Hat OS as their operating system. To give us some strategies along what we're protecting, first, we're going to secure the system using the best practices that have been suggested, such as disabling unused services on the Red Hat OS and Apache modules. For example, restricting database addresses. For the next thing is the firewall. We're going to install a firewall to prevent unauthorized access to the network. A firewall will keep an eye on the system's incoming and outgoing traffic and prevent any unauthorized access attempts. We have an IDS or a intrusion detection system install as a lookout for potential system security holes. Any attempts on security breaches will be reported to the system's administrator by the IDS, along with the details of where the attack originated from. To ensure that the system is updated frequently with the newest patches and software releases by addressing any discovered security flaws, regular updates will help keep this system secure. And we're going to implement access controls to grant only authorized personnel that this is to shield the system from unauthorized access and potential security holes. And here we have the technologies to secure and manage the system. We have the firewall that we suggested, which is going to be IP tables, which is an open source firewall program to prevent any authorized and unauthorized network, and the company should install. The next one that we have here is the IDS. We're going to use Snort as an open source IDS tool to detect potentially any security breaches in real time. The system updates, we're going to use Yum as an update and install the software. We're going to use SE Linux, which is also known as the, I'm sorry, I lost that one. Apologies. We're going to use SE Linux to have the security upgrade in the Red Hat OS to implement access controls and stop unauthorized access. We're going to use Nagios as a network monitoring tool to monitor network components, services, and applications and notify the system if anything or any potential problems should occur. A thorough strategy that includes securing configuration, deploying firewalls, implementing IDS, regular updates, and network monitoring is needed to protect the small business system. Open source tools like IP tables, Snort, Nagios, and SE Linux can be used to manage and secure the systems in an efficient manner. To keep the system safe from any potential threats, it's crucial that we regularly review and update the security measures in place. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Siobhan.
Siobhan, if you want to
Siobhan.
get ready to showcase the website, real quick, we have a slide for the Gantt chart and the work breakdown structure. This is the full one, so it will be added to for phases 2 and 3. But you'll see phase 1 is currently showing the work breakdown structure and attachments and predecessors to it. This is also included on Milestone 1 as well. Yeah, it's really small. I know, I see you leaning up against the screen. So we went back and forth. Should we put just phase 1 or the whole semesters for phase 1, 2, and 3? We can definitely update this or add phase 1 only, so it shows a closer. You can see the dependencies and who it's assigned to, because I don't have all my columns here. Anyways, yeah, open to feedback here if you'd like to see a different view also.
This is just fine. I've got a 4K monitor here, a 43-inch 4K monitor, so I just enlarged it and I can see.
Okay, great, awesome. Siobhan, sorry to steal your thunder if I did it all. If you want to take over on screen share and walk through the showcase.
Not a problem. Thanks, Ross. I'm going to go ahead and provide a walkthrough of the Group 3 Showcase website, which we hosted on Wix. So I'll go ahead and share that. Let me pull that up here. So our homepage starts out highlighting our location here at Kennesaw State. And hopefully I shared that correctly. Can everybody see me?
Not yet.
Oh,
All good.
share.
Here we
There you
go.
go. We can see it now.
All right. So here we are on our Group 3 Showcase website. And we started out with our location here at Kennesaw State. We also made sure to include a contact form here as well that routes directly to our team email, which is monitored regularly. If we go back up to the top bar here from our homepage, you can also meet the team. Jump over to that page. We are a group of 5, all majoring in IT with information assurance and cybersecurity concentrations. This makes Group 3 uniquely qualified to work on the cybersecurity web hardening Capstone project. Moving over to our Milestones tab, we're currently working on Milestone 1. All of our related documents here with the formal report and PowerPoint presentation are available for review here. As the project progresses, the later milestones will be updated as well. Our project documents are all located here. Our project plan, Gantt chart, weekly reports, and the meeting minutes are all located in this section. The Gantt chart, weekly reports, and meeting minutes are updated continuously as well. We included a tab also for file sharing, as there are many documents that are coming up as we go through this project. This allows us to upload anything that we work on throughout the course of the project. We can share files continuously through here. One last feature that I would like to share is our search option also up here in the top right. If there's any item that you're looking for but not quite sure where it is, you can just search for it here and it'll take you straight to it. That is it for the showcase. I'll go ahead and hand it back to Ross. Just one moment to release the screen.
Right. I'll go back to our final slides. We do have references back here for your viewing pleasure. That's it. Any questions? Anything we can cover now? I appreciate your time. Would love some feedback. Understand what we can improve upon, what you liked, maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, it looks good. So I would say you all did an outstanding job from start to finish. There were some